Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This video is part of Power Apps Code App series. This is the sixth video in which we are going to see how we can use Office 365 users Power Platform connector into our Power Apps Code Apps. I'm trying to build this series as a step-by-step learning series of different operations which we can do using Power Apps Code App series, which are going to be used for real world scenarios. In the first video, we have started with Hello World app, where we have explained the project structure, setting things up, and how we can do the core step which you can always follow before adding any logic. Then we have also seen how we can connect Power Apps Code App with different data sources like SharePoint, Dataverse, getting the data and doing the CRUD operation on SharePoint list and Dataverse table. In this video, we are going to take one step further by using Office 365 connector and how we can add it as a data source, and then we can kind of build an header component into your Power Apps which will display current users name, email and photo. So basically the idea is once you would add this data source as a connectors, all the operations or actions which are available within Office 365 connectors can be used within your code. And to make it a simple case where you can see how you can build it, we will create the header which can be used in the app. So if you haven't watched the first Hello World video yet, I highly recommend the video before starting this one, because this is going to follow the same structure and same setup steps in this video as well. As I'm going to start from the previous video, let's just quickly summarize how you can quickly set up a Hello World Power Apps Code Apps project. So if you see here, first thing is we need to create a white based project which is going to create the template for a React based application on white. Then the other three steps is to basically authenticate your Visual Studio Code so that you know where you wanted to test your local debugging session. Then you select Power Platform default environment, and then you initialize your pack code so that it adds required files wherein the simple React White application will add all the necessary information to run it as a Power Apps Code Apps. The next two step is to install libraries like Microsoft Power Apps and Types Node, which is going to give us the libraries and SDK classes which we can use in our code to build basically an application which resides in Power Apps. Next two step is to create a simple Power Provider TSX file, updating the main file and JSON file and white. So this is just a summary. As I said, if you wanted to basically start from it, please watch the first video, and where you will get step-by-step instruction where I have followed all these steps to create the Hello World app. So let's get into the code and see how the project is structured. So what I have opened here is a project which has been created which says Office 365 user demo. I had already run through all the steps which we discussed in the previous slide, so that I have the project ready. This is going to be kind of a show and tell kind of video, so I already have the header component, everything which is been built. But what I will show you is I will show you main components and main files through which we are basically building the or the header itself, right? So the first and the foremost thing is that once you have an Hello World program been created, then what you need to do is we need to basically add the data source, right? So, and if you go to the documentation, you have the how to guides and everything also. One of the important thing to note here is connect to the data, which we are going to follow today. So as we seen in the previous video, to basically add or use any connectors which are there within Power Platform which you wanted to use in your app, what you need to do is you need to basically get the connection ID uh, to make sure that the connection is available. So in this case, because we are going to talk about Office 365 connector, first and the foremost thing we need to do is we need to make sure the connector basically exists. Okay. Now, if you don't have the connector already built, what you can do is you can go to Power Apps, you can select the targeted environment, you can go to connections and make sure the targeted connection which you are going to use is been created. If it is not created, you can create a new one. What you need to do is you need to click on new connection, search for Office 365 users, which is the connection which we are using. you can click on create. It is going to ask you some consent, and once this is created, we need to find two things from the URL. There are two ways to do it. The easiest one being you can directly copy it from the URL. So basically, whenever you wanted to add any data source to your Power Apps Code Apps, this is the command: pack code, add data source, and the API name and the connection ID. So in this case, as you can see here, this is the same example of adding an Office 365 user connection. What you need to do is you need to find this name and then the connection ID. Now, once the connection is created, if you click on any of the connection, I'll use the old ones because I have my code configured with the old connection ID. You can see here shared underscore Office 365 user. This is basically the API name. It means that we are going to connect to Office 365 user connector. And the next thing which you see is the connection ID, which is important. So what you need to do is you need to make sure that this connection ID and this one is created, and create the command pack code add data source here. I had already ran this command. Once you will run this command like this, what it will do is it will basically create a folder called generated here, wherein it will create a model class which is basically representing all the responses which we are going to get from the actions, and it will also going to create a service.ts class. So please understand, as soon as you will run this command, both these files and folders would be generated, which we can directly use it. So think about it as in any application which you are building, what you need to do is you will be creating your own service class which is going to connect to the API. So this is the same service class which is connecting to our Office 365 action. Now, people who are also aware with the Power Platform connectors and everything, Office 365 connector has so many methods which you can use. And you can see here, this is a long list of files wherein all the different actions which are available, like updating the profile, getting the profile, updating the profile photo, getting trending documents, getting relevant people of current user, getting his profile. This is the first version which is basically still there, but right now we use the version 2. Then you can use user photo metadata to get the metadata user photo. So all these methods are basically been created for us to be readily used. Now you as a React developer, once you have this method which is going to take care of connecting to the actual data source via the API, in this case via this service class and the client, what we need to do is we just need to make sure that we are making the use of this method whenever required to get the data and then create the required UI component, right? First, let's see what I have built, and then I will walk you through uh, how uh, how the UI has been built, right? So to run the project, what I'm doing is I'm doing an npm run dev. I will copy this URL and I will go to the targeted environment and run this. Okay. Now it doesn't look like it has completely ran. Yeah, it has. Okay. Now, as you can see, this was the typical first hello world program which was done, and this is the header which I have created. And what I'm doing is I'm getting the current logged in user's display name, his email address, and the profile image. So this is what basically making the header dynamic. And any typical application which you are going to build in the code apps, and header is important. And to make it simple, I'm just using my profile and get user photo data API call to basically build this kind of component. Now let's see how we have built this. So if I go to my code, first and foremost thing is the app.tsx, right? Because this is the file wherein the actual main component is getting loaded, which has been rendered. So what I did is I created a header component because it's an independent component which you might and have to use it across different screens. We have to create it as a separate component rather than creating all the code within this system. This is typical way of creating a reusable React components, right? what we are passing is the app name itself. But when we go to the component, what do we have is in terms of user interface. So first and the foremost thing is, let's check the user interface. This is typical HTML and some CSS class through which we are getting the required look and feel. So if you see here, we have header, we have a div which basically has the logo which you are seeing on the left hand side. Then we have the header center where we are displaying the app name, which is basically coming from the main component. Now why did I kept this app name dynamic? Because it's a header component. If you are going to build the real world application, what we will do is we would need to sometimes change the text which we are displaying on the top. For example, if it is a dashboard, you wanted to show dashboard. If it is a profile screen, you might want to display as a profile screen. So hence, making the header component dynamically to pass the text which you wanted to display makes a example a real world use case which you are going to build. Then on the right hand side, as you can see, what do we have is we basically have the div and the HTML and username field and email field. If there is an error, then it will display some error, and then an image which is going to show us the profile photo. Right now, this is a typical HTML based header which we have created. Right now, main and important thing is how do we make the API calls to get the data. Right, so for that, what do we need is we need the user profile state object where we are going to store the user information like user display name, mail, etc., which is basically of the type graph user, because the response is going to return us that. And then we have profile photo, which is basically going to store the profile photo separately. And then these are some loading and error handling. So by the API calls it made, it will display the loading this thing text. Now this is the method which is basically use effect. Use effect is going to be called, and what it will do is it is going to this is the definition of the method which is going to make the API call. And then here, if you see, we are actually calling the fetch user data. So use effect is going to be called whenever the basically the component is going to be loaded. Now here you see it is calling my profile version 2, and it is passing some parameters which is basically the parameters to the API on which attributes you wanted to return from the API. So to use this service class, there is an import here, and also there is a model, because all the models are put it into the model class, which is graph user v1, etc. Then once we got the result, we are just making sure that we got the result, and then we are reading the data. Why do we want to read the dot data is because the response from the graph API is going to have a data object, and within the data object we are going to get all the attributes. So we are reading the data attribute and using it in the profile, and then setting the state of the user profile. Now the user profile then already have the way to make it dynamic, right? So if you see here, what do we have is within the render class, we are using the user email display from the user profile state object. So if the display name is there, read it from there, otherwise just say user. If the email is there, read it from the email attribute, if otherwise just put it as empty. And then if you see, other thing here is the getting of the photo. So what do you see on the top right, which is basically the profile photo, is what this method is going to do. So user profile photo version, where you if you pass the profile ID, basically the ID, user ID of the object of the user, you are going to get the photo. But one thing is, the photo which we are going to get from this method is not the URL, but basically a base 64 binary. So what we need to do is to basically set up that photo into the image source. We need to make sure that we are rendering in the format and giving the format as base 64. So this line of code basically does that. And then what we will do is we will basically set up the src to that particular object. This is how the photo is getting rendered into our photo placeholder. So yes, this is how you would be able to create a header component which can be used across different screen within Power Apps, Code Apps. And as you can see that the user 365 service method has many other methods which are available. So if you want to extend this example to different other functionalities like updating user profile, getting the manager, or updating or getting my trending document, etc., all these methods are available. You can just use all this method the way we have seen it in the header component file, get the data, and then create your required user interface. So yeah, that's the wrap for this video. So what we did is we kind of extended our basic app, added the Office 365 user connector, and create a reusable header to show logged in user data. In this next video also, we are going to explore other scenarios and use case on how we can basically connect to different data source, add and create real world patterns which you can reuse in your apps, specifically in Power Apps Code Apps. Thank you. If you like this video, please give a like, share this video, share it with someone who is starting their journey into Power Apps Code Apps series, and see you next time. Thank you.